What's up there, YouTube? How's it going, everybody? It's Carpo here. It's Sunday night. No, it's Saturday night, actually. Yeah, Saturday night about 10 o'clock p.m. It's kind of funny. I guess a lot of people partying at 10 p.m. on Saturday, but I'm just kicking it at home, making a video. Gonna go lay down with my wife and watch a movie. I wanted to make a quick video, rather. Um, just because I haven't made one in a couple days. Actually, I think the last one I made, I'd had a couple drinks, which obviously shows on the video. But anyhow, I was today I was doing a little bit of research on a few different subjects, and I started thinking about kids and got into these articles about raising children. And I've got a 9-year-old, and then a 23-year-old. So the two youngest are still going through their emotional understandings and whatnot. But this article reminded me, rather, that the most important thing that we have in this world and that we can teach our children is emotional intelligence. And there are many different forms of intelligence. In fact, I think there was one professor who claimed there were 9 or more different forms of intelligence, and there's a whole list, but I don't think we really have to give much definition to the idea that, we understand the word. Basically, it's being proficient in one area or another is intelligence, in my opinion. So, but not in work, but in work of the mind, if you will. So anyhow, being able to cope with how we react to people when, say, they curse at us or abuse us, changing our perceptions of a negative situation can be the difference between a miserable life and one of, joy. I know that life is hard, and a lot of us have many issues to deal with. But I also know that it's easy for us to play the victim card and get wrapped up in the what-ifs and start panicking and fearing and causing problems in our own lives because we haven't taken care of ourselves. I don't blame anybody else for my shortcomings except myself. I don't blame my parents or my situation, my upbringing. I am who I am. No matter how bad your childhood is, anyway, they say that a good companionship can, sidestep that and help a person to overcome it. And I did lose my father when I was young, which of course, would frustrate any kid. But beyond that, I had a pretty good childhood. But I think that the problem is when we talk about a good childhood, the thing that we forget is emotional intelligence is learning how to cope with your reactions. Now, I've always been I haven't been cool, calm, and collected, that's for sure. I mean, when I was younger, I was just crazy, off the charts, weirdo, like anybody else. Made strange recordings of myself on tapes with my brother doing what we call the Today Show. Cussed a lot, had really no tact, I was never a violent person or a mean person, but I was definitely a tactless, kind of belligerent type person. And as I got older, now I'm still a little bit loud and overbearing, but that's because I feel passionate about the things I'm talking about. Especially when I'm really deep in a conversation, people mistake it for like being confrontational or angry or frustrated, but that's not it at all. It's like let's get to the bottom of this kind of thing. But sometimes I am incredulous about the things that other people believe, and that does kind of not frustrate me, but incredulous is how I guess is the best description. I'm just flabbergasted that people could think the way that they do. But I respect the fact that people are armed with the information that they have, and they make their decisions based on that. And it's not always correct. It's not one of those things where, I guess my point is that the emotional intelligence part means that we learn how to cope with our debates, arguments, and issues without taking it personal. So, when I first started on YouTube, for example, I had a variety of different trolls, but mostly just a couple, 2, 3 different people over the first few years that, that called me names, whatever it might be, trolled me, talk shit about me, and then I would bite on the line, and then they would, keep on going, and it went on for like a year with one dude or more. And looking back, I realized, okay, I was a fool, because today I don't even bother. I mean, I will always respond in kind if someone says something. The idea of turn the other cheek, I don't believe in that. I don't believe that you have to be so emotionally pure that you can't even respond. Anger is part of the intelligence. In other words, learning how to use your anger is part of emotional intelligence. But I don't really get angry anymore. It's hard to get me angry. I imagine if I was really pissed, I could do what I need to do. My kids can piss me off, but it takes a lot. And maybe that helps with the patience. And maybe that's why it's important for all of us to be around kids more. To really help us develop a sense of, are we any more intelligent than they are when we're arguing online about politics and calling each other assholes and saying, I would kick your ass, or threatening violence against someone merely because we feel offended or bothered by what they believe or what they say. So, living a long, healthy life, I think that, and studies have shown now that, one of the key factors is that emotional stability and being aware of your emotions and being able to talk about them. And that's sadness, anger, everything. It's this little fruit fly. I think I got him. So anyhow, that's my ramble for the night. Take it for what you will. I really enjoy, learning as many things as I can in life, but gaining academia or any other type of intellect or intelligence, or what groups were previously referred to as intellectuals, I find it appalling. Like people who sit around and use big, cumbersome words that are obnoxiously long and pretty much pointless. The type of pretentious, like, science papers you read where the person just wants to sound important by using big words, I guess. And there's a word for that, but can't remember what it is right now. But it's pretty, I don't know. I think that we all need to come down to this level where, hey, we understand each other well enough. If you need a big word to describe something, then so be it. Do it. But I think you all know where I'm coming from. We need to be a little bit, I don't know, not so afraid to just be ourselves and to just be a normal-ass person, Being human is hard enough when we're separated by our intellect, but, that intellectual, my point being that intellectual part of ourselves, learning big words and knowing things and learning, about history, any of it, it's all garbage compared to emotional intelligence. So you want to develop the emotional part first, then you learn how to respond to these other things. Then you can learn about world events without getting all angry and screaming at, saying bomb the Arabs, or, assuming that, everybody's out to get you, or believing what the media is telling you, or what anybody else is telling you for that matter. So I'll talk to y'all later. Have a wonderful evening, day, whatever it may be. And, may the force be with you. Take care.